Hello everyone, my name is Jenilyn presenting Lisa, Reasoning Segmentation via Large Language Model. Introduction. So think about how we naturally gives instructions. If you tell a robot, bring me the red cup, it usually knows exactly what you mean. But what if you ask it to bring me the cup that's likely to spell? That's much harder for current AI systems. While humans use implicit commands all the time, current AI perception systems struggle to infer intent and reason about the world without very explicit instructions. They need clear object specifications. To bridge this gap and advance intelligent perception, especially in areas like robotics, the task of reasoning segmentation was introduced. This is a new task that requires AI to generate the precise outline or segmentation mask based on complex queries that involves reasoning, like identifying the unstable cup. It's about moving towards AI that can truly understand and meaning behind instructions. This presentation will discuss the approach of LISA, reasoning segmentation via large language model. Lisa tackles the reasoning segmentation challenge by leveraging the powerful reasoning capabilities of large language models. It processes text instructions and image jointly, enabling it to understand the complex query and generate the required segmentation mask as an output. The overview. A new segmentation task, reasoning segmentation. This task requires generating a segmentation mask from a complex and implicit query text. To evaluate this task, the authors created the benchmark dataset called ReasonSeg, which contains over 1,000 image instruction mask data samples. Now, what is reasoning segmentation? Reasoning segmentations underscores the critical need for AI to reason from implicit human instructions. This reasoning capability is essential for achieving truly intelligent perception. In other words, the AI has to think and reason about the instruction to figure out what is segment. Now, what is the rule of LLM to Lisa? The LLM acts as the brain of Lisa, understanding complex reasoning-based instructions along with the image. It generates text responses, signals where the segmentation mask is needed by outputting a special token, and provides the crucial embedding for the token which is then decoded into the final mask. So to tackle the reasoning segmentation task, the paper introduced LISA, a large language instructed segmentation assistant. LISA is designed to leverage the powerful reasoning capabilities of large language models and combine them with the ability to produce visual outputs segmentation masks. The fundamental ideas behind LISA are follows. 1. Extending LLM capabilities, giving language models the new ability to output image segments, not just text. 2. Embedding a smart paradigm, using special token, those internal representation embedding stands for the mask. 3. Decoding the embedding, the process of converting the token's embedding into the actual pixel outline. And last but not the least, end-to-end training, training the whole system together so the language and vision parts learn simultaneously. Alright, so let's look at some examples here. This slide provides a great visual overview of Lisa's capabilities, showing the kinds of complex reasoning segmentation tasks it can handle. So if you're looking at the first picture, the motorcycle, the user has to segment the tire that does not touch the ground. So this is not just finding a tire. It actually requires a reasoning about the physical state in the image. Now the Lisa correctly identifies and segments the race front wheel. The second example, the radishes. The query is, can you segment the food that tastes not spicy? This relies on world knowledge about different food. Lisa correctly segment the radishes. In the third example, the top right, the washing machine, the user asked, where in the picture would I put the clothes? So this requires understanding the function of the objects. So Lisa correctly segments the interior of the front-loading washing machine. In the fourth example, the middle right, the car interior, the query said, what is the place where the driver can observe the speed? Again, this involves understanding function within context. So Lisa segment the instrument panel or the dashboard area. The fifth example are the wrestlers, asking, who is the loser? It requires complex visual reasoning about the action. Lisa segments the person underneath and importantly also provides a textual explanation for its reasoning. And this shows it can combine segmentation with language generation. The sixth example is the dog. So the query asks to segment the unusual part and explain why. Lisa identifies the render antlers as unusual, segments them, and explain why in text. Now, if you're looking in the last example, the bottom part, this example asks to segment two different things based on properties. One is the fried food and the food with most protein. Now, Lisa successfully output two separate tokens and corresponding masks in a single answer, demonstrating its ability to handle multiple targets. So this example really highlights Lisa's strength. It successfully tackles queries involving complex reasoning, world knowledge, object functions, and contextual understanding. It can also provide explanatory answers and handle multiple segmentation requests simultaneously. Now let's move forward to the methods. So in this slide, we have the inputs, visual backbone, multimodal LLM, segmentation signal, embedding as must, and decoder. So in the next slide, I will illustrate the overall pipeline of the LISA model, showing how it is processed information to perform reasoning segmentation. So how LISA is built. In the first picture, on the left part, we have two main inputs, the image and the text query. Notice the query is complex, asking for the food with the most vitamin C, which requires reasoning. In the vision backbone, the image first goes into the vision backbone, like SAM or mask to former. This part is pre-trained and frozen, meaning its weights aren't updated during Lisa's training. Its job is to extract key visual features from the image. Next is the multimodal LLM F. The text query and the visual information represented with features from the backbone are fed into the multimodal large language model, like Lava. This LLM is also largely frozen. To adapt the LLM for the segmentation task efficiently without retraining everything, LURA is used. Only these small LURA weights and few other parts are trainable. The LLM processes the inputs and generates a text response. Crucially, when it determines that segmentation is needed, it outputs the special token. The internal representation or hidden embedding associated with this token is extracted from the LLM final layer. This embedding goes through a small trainable MLP projection layer. MLP, prediction layer. In the decoder, finally, the process embedding and the original visual features are feed into the trainable decoder. This decoder uses both the LLM reason understanding via the embedding and the image details via the features to generate the final segmentation mask. In short, Lisa uses a mostly frozen LLM and vision backbone adapted efficiently with LoRa. It's introduced a token whose embedding directly instruct a trainable decoder to produce the final segmentation mask based on complex reasoning about the image and text. In this slide, we'll be discussing the training data formulation. Now that we've seen the Lisa architecture, let's look how it was trained. So a key part of the method is how they prepare the training data using existing public datasets. This figures shows the three main types of data use rather. So the first column, it is the semantic segmentation data. It starts with standard semantic segmentation datasets like EDA20K Coco Staff, which have images and pixel level class labels. It converts this by randomly picking a class. Example, the table that shows there, and formatting it as a question. Just like, can you segment the table? So the desired answer, it is seg. The model is trained using the binary mask for just the table as the ground truth for the token's output. This teaches Lisa to associate class names with segmentation mask via the token. And if you look at the second column, the middle column, it is referring segmentation data. It used datasets like RefCoco that provide an image as explicit text description. Example, the lady with the blue shirt and the corresponding object mask. This is formatted similarly. Can you segment the lady with the blue shirt? Then the answer is sure, it is seg. The provided mask is used as the ground truth. This teaches Lisa to segment based on explicit description. At the last column, it is the VQA data. So also includes standard visual question answering data like lava instruct. This data is kept its original format, question and text answer. Crucially, there is no token and no segmentation mask involved here. So the purpose of including this data is to ensure Lisa retain the general conversation and reasoning abilities of the underlying LLM. Now in the summary, this data formulation strategy allows Lisa to learn the connection between the token and the desired segmentation mask using a mix of class-based and description-based examples, while also preserving its core language understanding capabilities. All right, so how Lisa learns efficiently. So to train model effectively and with reduced computational cost, they use a technique called LoRa. This lets them train only a small part of the very large language AI while keeping most of it the same. Lisa is trained efficiently primarily through parameter efficient fine-tuning techniques, especially LoRa. So using LoRa is applied to the LLM. This involves injecting small, low-rank matrices into the layers of the LLM. Only these small matrices, LoRa parameters, are trained, significantly reducing the number of trainable parameters compared to full fine-tuning. Now let's move forward to the experiment. Now, how Lisa was configured. Base AI model. So the researchers started with powerful existing AI models that understand both images and text, called lava. So they use two different versions of it. In the visual part, to understand the images, they use another AI model called VidHSAM, which is good at identifying objects. And for the connection, vision, and language, they use a small extra piece of AI called an MLP to help the image information talk to the language part of Lava. Now, how Lisa was trained? For the hardware, researchers used 8 powerful NVIDIA graphics cards to train the Lisa. And for the training software, they use a special software called DeepSpeed to help train the model faster. For the learning settings, they use a method called AdamW to help Lisa learn, which is specific numbers for how fast it learns, learning rate, and how much it adjusts its learning over time, weight decay, and learning rate scheduler. For balancing text and image understanding, they use specific weights or numbers to tell the AI how important it was to understand the text question versus drawing the correct outline. Now, for the batch size, they showed the AI small groups of images and question at the time to help it learn. For the training and object outlines, when training on the datasets where objects were outlined, they randomly pick a new object types in each image and ask Lisa to outline them. The correct outline was the right answer of Lisa to learn from. Now for the training on described object, for the datasets where objects were described in words, they asked Lisa to outline the object that matched the description. Now, keeping the original understanding to make sure Lisa didn't forget how to answer normal questions about images, they also trained it on the dataset especially for that. Avoiding cheating. They made sure that the images used for training Lisa were the same as the images they used to test it later. Special training for tricky questions. They use that giving Lisa a little extra training on just a small number, 239, of those really tricky thinking-based saying question made it perform even better on those types of questions. Okay, so this slide is an ablation study, tested Lisa in different parts. So the researchers tested different components of Lisa to see how much each one helped. They mainly look at clue and clue scores on set of images to use for checking performance during training validation set. So if you will see in this picture, it can be seen that Lisa performs better than Lava with a glow difference of 20%. So yes, they use main ways to see how Lisa could draw the correct outlines. One is glue. This is like checking how much the outline Lisa drew overlaps with the real outline. And they average this for all the images. And this is their preferred way to measure. For the clue, this is another way to check the overlap, but it can be unfairly influenced by very large object and can change a lot. So glue was considered more reliable. So yeah, this is the explanation to the first. I'm referring to the previous table. Okay, so on this slide is vanilla referring segmentation task. So the main goal here is to demonstrate that even though Lisa is designated for complex reasoning, it is still highly competent on the traditional task where the text gives an implicit description of the target object. So the researcher want to show it maintains strong fundamental segmentation abilities. So the structure, the author compares Lisa specifically the 7B parameter version in this table, this part. So against several well-established methods designed specifically for referring segmentation like CRIS, LoveT, RILA, XDecoder, and SIM. So there are two results for Lisa. The base model and one fine-tuned specifically on referring segmentation data. Now for the columns, the performer metric showed is clone, a common metric for this benchmark. So the results are reported across the standard datasets like RefCoco, RefCoco Plus, and RefCoco G, including their various validation and test splits. For the key findings, Lisa 7B achieved results that are very competitive with, and in some cases better than existing state-of-the-art method specifically built for this task. So in short, this table confirms that Lisa is not only capable of novel reasoning segmentation task, but also maintains strong state-of-the-art performance on the standard referring segmentation benchmark. Okay, so this table 3 and 4. This table shows a result from the ablation studies, where it is tested the impact of different components and the training choices. Now for the table 3 results is a vision backbone choice compared to SAM to mass former. It shows that while SAM performs best, the LISA framework is flexible enough to work decently with other backbones too. Now for the backbone fine-tuning, trying to fine-tune the SAM backbone itself using LoRa actually reduced performance compared to keeping it frozen. So it seems best to leverage SAM's powerful fixed pre-trained features. Now for the table 4, an ablation study on SAM pre-trained weights and rephrasing. So the table 4 results in SAM pre-training compares to experiment 1, no pre-training, to experiment 3 with free training, shows a huge performance drop without pre-trainings. So this confirms that using SAM's strong pre-trained weights is essential. So as for instruction rephrasing, comparing to experiment number 2, no rephrasing, to experiment number 3 with rephrasing instructions, it shows a clear benefit from using GPT 3.5 to rephrase training instruction. This data augmentation techniques helps improve performance. Okay, so for this table 5, a training data analysis. This table investigates how much each type of data used during training contributes to LISA final performance on the ReasonSeg validation set. Now for the structure, in ID 128 represents an experiment where different combinations of training data were used indicate check marks. Semantic segmentation, a various types, referring segmentation, a BQA data, and a small ReasonSeg fine-tuning set. Now, all components of the mixed training data strategy are beneficial, with semantic segmentation data being particularly important of the learning the mass generation capability. Okay, so for this table 6 result in the ReasonSeg test set. For the purpose, this table explores whether fine-tuning LISA on more reasoning-specific example improves its performance in the ReasonSeg test set. Now for the structure, it confers fine-tuning using only the ReasonSeg straight split for 239 samples versus using both the train plus val splits combined 239 samples. Now for the k-finding, using the large fine-tuning set, train plus val results the better performance, higher glue and glue in the test set compared to using only the train set. Yeah, so train plus val is higher than the train as a result. Now, performance on reasoning segmentation improves when the model is fine-tuned with more reasoning-specific examples suggesting the model benefits from seeing more complex reasoning data. So in conclusion, these works introduced a novel and crucial challenge for the field of AI, segmentation through visual reasoning or reasoning segmentation. To evaluate progress in this area, the authors also presented the recent SEG benchmark. Crucially, they demonstrated the effectiveness of language instructive segment anything LISA model. LISA offers a compelling approach by seamlessly integrating the power of language understanding into existing vision language models, enabling them to generate precise segmentation masks based on complex reasoning. The surprisingly strong performance of Lisa on the recent SEG benchmarks underscores the potential of this direction, and the authors believes that Lisa and the recent SEG benchmark will serve as valuable tools, inspiring future research into the synergistic fusion of advanced language AI and computer vision for developing next generation AI agents capable of complex visual understanding and interaction, particularly in robotics. Okay, so my presentation ends here. Thank you so much for listening.